FRISCO, it became crystal clear to me last spring just how committed the Dallas Cowboys were to the idea of their one-tech defensive tackle being also possessive of three tech traits, and athletic enough to get upfield, and, to be blunt, not a fat guy, when the reaction to failing to get old pal Terrell McClain to boomerang back into the fold via free agency was no reaction at all. From our report from Inside the Star at the time, so good, after a Wednesday dinner, a Thursday breakfast inside the Star, with personnel boss Will McClay, and a lunchtime meeting during which duties and numbers were discussed, that I put McClain on my 53-man roster projection, video here, and then Atlanta offered the free agent a one-year, $4 million deal. And it suddenly feels like Dallas lost a player that it actually never had. We can argue about what Dallas should have done to prevent this loss. McClain made $3 million over 3 years with Dallas in his previous stint here, and his average per-year salary in the NFL is about $2 million, and yeah, that's even after Washington signed him last spring to a big money deal, only to cut him this spring. So what happens now? A source tells me the Cowboys will not be pursuing Jonathan Hankins, who has some skins on the wall. He was a good player with the Giants a few years ago before moving to the Colts last spring for a 3-year, $27 million contract. But then, shades of McClain, the Colts this spring cut him. I was bombarded by fan questions about the dislike for Hankins. After all, various scouting sites graded out the 6'2", 325-pound Hankins as a top-notch run-stopper, and he was just shy of his 26th birthday. Oh, and he was a second-round pick out of Ohio State, so there's pedigree. And remember, this was all going down while Maliot Collins, a 3-tech by nature but a 1-tech helper here, had just broken his foot, who broke his foot this week but will ideally miss no more than 3 months, so Dallas was prepared to hand practice time and maybe playing time to the likes of Brian Price and Richard Ashe. Oh, and David Irving, a 3-tech guy, was also beginning his spiral into limbo. Their evaluation of Hankins, though, I wasn't a knock, it was just an evaluation what he is, a space eater, versus what they like, 3 tech traits. Dallas did take a stab at help with Jihad Ward, acquired in a draft-time trade from Oakland. Ward, a former second-round pick who the Cowboys liked in his draft, had been a so-far underachiever in the NFL. And that didn't change during his brief time with the team. The Cowboys rescued themselves with the discovery of Antwaun Woods, who lacks great pedigree and great height. When coaches joke that he's 5'11", they aren't far off, but who, at 312, plays like both a wide body and an athlete. Woods, who also has an ebullient personality that became more and more forceful over the course of the season as his success rolled on, has also just signed with agent Drew Rosenhaus, a sort of "look ma, I make it" move. And at just 26, the undrafted USC product and former Titans practice squatter figures to be part of the future here. But if the Cowboys' defense struggled in any particular way last season, it was in stopping the run, especially, oddly, on the second half of the season and on the road, see Indy, New York and Los Angeles. Woods played injured in the playoff loss to the Rams, so that's a factor. But I wonder, too, if Cowboys defensive bosses Rod Marinelli and Chris Richard might thinking about bending just a little, maybe even in the upcoming NFL draft. What if the Dallas defense allows a softening of philosophy that can lead to a stiffening against the run? And what if that concept melds with what we know about the Joneses' use of second-round picks, where they are frequently willing to do some wildcat drilling? Mississippi State defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons is 6'4" and 310. He's not a fat guy, but he's a big body, though. To the 3-tech argument, he's so athletic that during his sophomore year he returned some punts. If not for his recent knee injury, he'd likely be a top 15 pick. And yes, that's despite the horrific viral video that shows his violent interaction with a woman. Heel slide due to the injury, but apparently not due to his behavior, for what it's worth. Will he slide to 58, where the Cowboys' first pick sits? Assuming he can't play for a year, can he serve as a Jalen Smith, Randy Gregory-like risk-reward bet on the future? I can see the Joneses seeing it that way. I can see head coach Jason Garrett, on the final year of his contract and therefore naturally less interested in future payoffs, not seeing it that way. The job here, I think, is to find out how Marinelli, Richard and scouting boss Will McClain see it. A that guy, who would mark a change in Dallas philosophy, but also maybe mark a change in how teams run against the Cowboys.